what's for you. There's 4 people watching right now.
Right on. Hey, 4 people.
Hi. Someone named James is on there. We'll all show up here in a minute.
Great, got comments.
You know what I should do? I just need to make you a moderator next time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I
just
love
hit-
everybody.
Like, just type a letter or something.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff I want to delete already. Like that one. It's weird. There. Can you guys hear us? Let me know if you can hear us. There's 32 people watching already.
Right on.
Alright, you have to go subscribe to Jeremy's channel. It's pinned. JW's Garage. Is it pinned?
Jack said yes, we can.
Yay!
So did Andy. Oh, and Paul from the UK.
Oh, hey Paul. So this is Jeremy. We'll get started here in a minute, but he's been kind enough to work on my vehicle, which has a lot of work to do. So you guys have to go subscribe to his channel because a lot of it's going to be over there.
Oh, Jack's in the UK as well. I'll talk Fox Body. I love Fox
I
Bodies.
don't know. What is it?
A Fox Body?
Yeah.
It's the 3rd generation Mustang.
Oh, let's see, here you go. What's going on with it? A lot.
Right on.
We changed spark plugs today, coil packs, the donut for my exhaust,
The stud kit.
the stud kit,
A couple of spark plugs.
Yeah, and
Degreased.
he pressure washed my vehicle. Looks really good on the inside. Never seen it look that good.
And we identified that the AC actually does work, and it has been
My
working.
AC works. I've been sweating my
Thanks,
balls
Jack.
off for no reason.
Yeah, it's actually got a blend air door in the dashboard that's not functioning. So when you turn on the AC, the door doesn't move, so it doesn't let the cold air come into the cab, but the AC's been working this whole time.
For the last 7 years, I've not had AC, and I lived in Vegas. It
Little
was
bit.
misfiring, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce is not with me. He's in Vegas. He's partying it up right now. He has some dental work to be done, and then I'll pick him up later in a couple months.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're going to try and find the good Dormans that have the metal gear. That way it never goes bad again.
So I pinned his channel at the top of the comments. If you guys can go subscribe, because a lot of the videos are going to be over there. They're going to be good.
The Chevy's got a great engine, Mike. It's got that 4.3 Vortec, like great inline 6-cylinder, and frankly, they're a pleasure to work on in comparison to a lot of other engines out there. So, and I'd like to get to know the engine a little better myself, so it's a good opportunity to work on it and get it working optimally.
So
Is that a real word?
it is.
We'll go with that today.
So before we actually get started, just go over to his channel right now and go subscribe, and then we'll get started. It's pinned at the top of the comments. He has a lot of knowledge that I don't have, obviously.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna pause for a minute and then just go click on his channel and go subscribe, because there's gonna be a lot of videos. He's gonna take me all around Texas, and we're gonna do some fun stuff. So, and he's got a lot of good stories. So I think he's gonna start working on cars and telling stories and traveling and doing some fun stuff. Hey Aaron, how's Alaska? So we're gonna pause for a minute. Let's go. Go subscribe. But come back.
Aaron said they have throttle body issues, and I'm like, yeah.
I cleaned it not too long ago, actually.
We cleaned it pretty good today. About 4. The awkward Satan said 1989 straight 6, Chevy or Ford or Dodge. They were. Like, I'll tell you, like I had a 1990 Ford F100 with the straight 6 300 in it. That was the best engine ever, hands down. Like, that was the best engine ever.
Can you guys hear us? Good? Well. Oh, you're in Texas right now. I'm in Texas too.
Hey, Golf Breeze. God, I'd like to be in Florida. I appreciate it, Mark. I'd do that swap. I'd totally do that swap. A G&X into a Trailblazer? Absolutely. But it'd have to be a wrecked G&X because I would not destroy one.
I do want to tint my windows. I actually want to do limo tint in the back so I can be on my phone and stuff and people can't see me in there. I'd like to have like no light pollution to the outside. So it is in the plan.
Aaron, we're in oil country. Yes, we're in Texas.
Oh. I'm not going to give out my location. You know better. You know better, Aaron. I never give out my location, especially on live streams.
Not only that, but you'll probably see my cars, so I don't want anyone to know where they're at.
41 people. Alright. So.
What's your normal number?
What?
It's normal.
20.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right on.
It goes up and down 20 to 30 miles, usually. Who do we have on here? Hey, Del. How's it going? Why are there no casinos in Texas? I don't know.
No idea.
Isn't there a lottery here?
Yes.
Yeah, because there's a lottery here. Usually there's no casinos where there's a lottery.
I didn't know that.
Or they're like Indian casinos. But there's no like... Which, you know what? Casinos are great for revenue, but man, they bring out the bad. Hey, Jason. We are working on the Trailblazer here. I drove all the way to Texas from Las Vegas. I made it. I made it.
Almost did.
I didn't get to read that last comment.
We were talking about that, Mike, because the first year that Chevrolet put that engine in production, they ran it in the Baja 1000. If you recall, they actually took first, second, and third place, if memory serves me correctly. It was a pretty amazing engine.
So, you gotta go subscribe to Jeremy's channel. I'm gonna keep pushing it, because he's helping me a lot. A lot. A lot. Every time we fix something, I think about the person that tried to help me before, and I'm just like...
Oh, we fixed the door.
We did. We did.
Yeah.
I have a door handle now. I don't have to cross the passenger side. If you remember, I broke my door handle out in Railroad Valley in Nevada after chasing after Bruce. You know, Aaron, I don't really care about the casinos. It doesn't really do anything for me anymore. And I had a rule when I lived in Vegas where, because I was gambling so much, I had to travel to gamble. I couldn't gamble anymore in Vegas. and then when I became a tourist, I could gamble again. But I try not to do it.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, like,
I like to gamble on the stock market sometimes, but I don't know what I'm doing, so.
oh, Mark sent you an email.
Oh. Okay, my emails, I gotta catch up, you guys. It's going crazy. I haven't had a chance. I did see your email. And, I will get back to you, I promise. I promise. I just need a moment. I've got messages on literally everything that I have not responded to, and I really need to. I just haven't had a time to just sit down and talk to people. But I did read it. I like Missouri. Missouri's kind of cool.
Branson's cool.
Missouri's like,
That's where Trigger is.
it's one of the outdoor capitals of the United States. They have a lot of good outdoor shit stuff. They have a lot of like hunting out there and fishing, and there's a lot of Amish people.
And Trigger's there.
And Trigger's there.
And Willie.
Nelson?
No, the Jeep.
Oh.
Roy Rogers' Jeep is
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah, that's where Step Trigger and his Jeep went to. They're in Branson, Missouri.
I actually need to go back to Missouri. My friend Megan lives there, and she's got like a Brady Bunch family going on, so when I need a bunch of kids around and weird girlfriends, that's usually where I go. But, I ran into somebody there in Missouri. His name is Brandon. He recognized me, and I was in the worst possible condition ever. I didn't shower or anything. I was just hitting the road. But I need to go back. Missouri's nice. It's a very small town state. There's not a lot of big towns.
When,
Arizona does have good outdoor stuff.
Yep. Love
Really.
Arizona.
Really. They do. They have, more water than you would realize. And I really love that Salt River and that it's Roosevelt Lake in Arizona. It's really nice. But you can camp for free on the Salt River. It's really pretty. It's like camping in the Grand Canyon, but for free, and there's not a lot of people.
So, Mike, I had a buddy that did a GNX swap, and he twin turboed it into a 70 Chevelle Super Sport. It was a beautiful car. It was a great swap. Great swap. Like, all day long. That was like so much better than the LS. Just for its rarity.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not something everybody does.
It's like fast.
Oh, yeah, it was ridiculously fast. It was what we call stupid fast. Yeah, since we're talking automobiles, like, do we want a tour
You guys want a tour of his cars
and stuff?
and stuff?
All the crap I've built for the last 30 years.
Might as well. What work am I gonna do? Basically everything. We're working on like motor stuff right now, and then I actually had some companies reach out to me, so I think I'm gonna redo the lighting. Well, I am gonna redo the lighting, and then I have new headlights coming, new fenders. I need to redo the front suspension. I just let him tell me what I need to do.
Let's see. Michael, I was stationed in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and know that area easily pretty well from way back when, down in South Carolina. So I traveled all over that area. I'm going to Mexico, not with what's currently going on in Mexico. Absolutely not.
Yeah. I did want to go to Mexico. I was invited to go in October, but it doesn't seem too safe right now.
As of last week, yeah, no trips to Mexico for a while.
But America's great. Have you guys ever traveled to the United States? It's great. We've got everything.
Yeah, do we want a tour?
You guys want a tour?
thanks, Mike. Has Mike seen some of the videos on my channel?
That's awesome. Well, everybody should watch more.
All right, let's
Let's
do that.
go.
We'll start in here.
I'm gonna just put this up the way it is.
Oh, there you go.
Actually, take this out. Okay.
So that's my race bike. Well, and it was a supermoto bike. I raced supermoto for a lot of years.
You're gonna have to stand next to me. I don't.
And we'll just stand outside.
So here's the Trailblazer. It's beautiful.
So my crew cab,
Go over there.
OBS Ford. I've had this for, I don't know, I've had it over 20 years. It's all brand new. The 7.3 in it. At the time I worked for Ford, so I bought a long block right from Ford, a reman, and put it in. So it's got a new engine, billet converter, new transmission. It's got a gear vendor, all 2018 interior. The whole inside of the truck is sound deadened and Dynamat, actually in 3 layers of Dynamat. 3-inch exhaust all the way out, remote reservoir suspension, Celastic springs, I don't know what else. Sound system. Like,
Yeah, the sound
pretty
system
nice.
is actually really good.
And it's just an old truck, so nobody thinks to break into it. This is one I just finished. Like, this is a complete restoration. Like, this was...
This truck was maroon.
Yeah, this truck
and it was all beat up, and he redid it, the whole thing.
So that's engine, paint, body, interior, and there's no signal if you walk in there. But you can see another video on the channel. So that's a power play, and that is one of the Cocaine Cowboy race boats from Miami. If you know any of that history. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's very cool. So it's a very collectible boat. It is still today, almost 40 years later, the winningest offshore race boat in APBA history, a record that still hasn't been beat yet today. And I bought that. That was in a airplane hangar in Encino, California. And I bought it for $15,000, and it took me 3.5 years to restore it.
I'm gonna turn around just a minute. Enjoying the tour. I guess I'm gonna try to turn you around. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Sorry, there we go. Oh. Trying. Hold on. It's not working. Okay.
Like 79 years old. C7, Z06, Z07 package. I don't really drive this car a lot. And, well, you've ridden in this one.
Yeah, that is a nice one. It's comfortable.
So this is my C5 Z06, but what makes it very different, and to the best of my knowledge, this is only number 65. 64 or 65, there's one that's still controversial, and one that's currently being built, but there's only 64 or 65 Z06 Targa, so the roof actually comes off of the car. And then this is actually an LS6. It's supercharged, big brakes, coilover suspension. It's got coolers absolutely everywhere. It's an HBR competition engine, pro-charged RPM transmission, yank torque converter. It's tubbed, it's caged, it's got 5-point harnesses, it's got coolers absolutely everywhere. Oh, and the best part, even the interior, all the seats were custom made. It's all plaid.
Awesome.
And
There's
that's
me.
it.
Oh, my signal is going out.
And possibly on the truck at some point. Like, I'm really thinking of building an overland camper on it.
So you guys should go subscribe to his channel.
Like a steel frame, and then do a wedge camper on the very top so that you can stand up. But if I do a skeletal frame, I'm actually going to do hydraulic doors on the side and the back.
That'd be cool.
So it's all contained. And I will air condition it.
Nice. Air conditioning is such a luxury.
And it's easier to have than everyone thinks.
Okay.
Blake wants to know where you're going next.
Okay. Let me set the phone back on the tripod real quick, you guys. Where am I going next? Probably Florida. Actually, I have a friend in Mississippi. I have some tattoo work that I want to do there with someone. So I might go there first, and then I want to go to Florida. I'm going to meet up with a girl I was in the Navy with.
Oh, right.
And, yeah. And we're going to make some other content, so you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it. But, then we're going to do that. And I was thinking about going to Virginia and going back to Norfolk and seeing some people. For some reason, the people I was stationed with in Norfolk, when they got out of the Navy, they stayed there. I don't know why, but I'm going to go there and hang out with people.
A lot of people that I was stationed with, like, they've stayed all around the bases that they got out from.
You know, when I got out of the military, I wanted nothing to do with it, so. And now I do again. Like, I like the camaraderie, but I don't really like hanging out with people. They're like my brothers and sisters, you know. They're okay for a couple of visits, but not all the time.
Yeah.
What else?
Very true.
You guys have any questions?
Yeah, any questions
We
about
still got 30 people lingering.
cars or trucks or boats or...
He's a really awesome guy. He's pretty cool.
Oh, and we're going to shoot bows together.
We are. We both have bows. Compound bows.
Actually, as it turns out...
Staying safe doesn't sound fun, but I am pretty smart, so... I'm just kidding. Now I have to go do something crazy.
Yeah, actually, Del, we're going to work on that a little bit. The safe travel and like self-recovery and you know, like some... We're going to go over like some repairs you can do, you know, out and about so that she doesn't ever get stranded. I had a lot of MOSs, Aaron. I spent 10 years in the Marine Corps, and when I got out, I had a total of 8 separate MOSs. So everything from motor transport to rotary aircraft, flight line mechanic, marksmanship instructor, MIMS. I had a lot of MOSs. Some that I don't really talk about. And it's not any special forces type anything like that. It's just stuff that I just don't talk about. Oh, thank you.
If you're here, hit the like button so other people will watch this video too.
I like the 65 Comet. I still love all my old muscle cars, like that's my era.
Oh, thank you, Del.
But Del, we are going to work a little bit on that between both of our knowledge. Like,
I mean, would you guys want to see recovery videos? Probably, right? We'll put some on my channel and some on yours.
yeah. Well, we're gonna see what we can get for different items to put onto her vehicle, like we were talking about a winch. And if we were doing a winch, I was gonna show her how to make a sand anchor, so you can always pull yourself out, or earth anchor.
Thanks, Mike. I'm not in the mood for that at all. I have a better half. His name is Bruce, and he has 4 short little legs. He's in Vegas right now, but I'm gonna go get him when I'm done in Florida. I miss him a lot. He's great. He doesn't talk back. He goes wherever I want him to go. I don't have to fold his laundry. I do have to pick up his poop, but that's it.
Honestly, when you're single and comfortable, like, it's hard to talk somebody into it.
It is. I do want to settle down, but I want to settle down after I have what I want. I want my own piece of property. I want my own house. I want everything the way I want it. If the right person wants to come and join me, then they can. But from now on, it's going to be the way I want it. But I've had really great relationships, so I'm not complaining. Plus, I have a drop off Bruce where I trust somebody completely, so.
Which is great.
Which is nice, because.
How nice is that to have?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Hot Springs, Arkansas. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but it's really big with like the mob and the history of gambling in the South, which you can only gamble on the Mississippi River on the boats.
Yes.
And stuff, and all the bars there are really historic, but I couldn't take Bruce in there last time, so I never got to experience all the cool bars and the really old hotels, so I'm probably going to do that, too. I'm going to do everything that I could do with Bruce before I pick up. Mark, I'm not sure how long you've subscribed, but I did spend a lot of time in the Midwest. I don't know, Arkansas, does that count? Is that the Midwest?
No.
Actually, I took that video down. I said something in there that I kind of regret.
Isn't Midwest more like Michigan, Illinois, Kentucky,
Yes.
Wisconsin?
I went to boot camp in Illinois.
I'm from Flint, Michigan.
So, we're probably going to go make some other content with Jeremy's cars, and I'm actually running out of content for my other sites, so we'll probably do that too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm running out.
Use the cars for... Absolutely. Let's see, what else?
Tell them what you did in Vegas. Like, why you have so much knowledge. You basically restored vehicles in Vegas, and that's why you have so much knowledge. Like, you can take like a junk car and like turn it into something beautiful and amazing.
Yeah,
like my Trailblazer.
Okay, so I've done some pretty cool projects over the years. I completely restored Evel Knievel's last Fleetwood Vogue coat.
See, that's cool.
Yeah. I used to work on B.B. King's Prevost coach. Not only his coach, but then his band has a coach as well.
So he has experience in motorhomes and what do they call them? They call them coaches, right? Buses and all that.
Let's see. Oh, Jason wants to know if you went to boot camp at Great Lakes.
Yes. Yes.
And mine was MCRD.
There was a tornado. We had to do this last thing. I forget what it was called. This 24-hour thing that we had to do where we had to run across the base the whole time. And I had been bitten by a brown recluse like a week before that, and I still have scars from it, but my leg was being drained, and they're like, well, you can't do this last challenge, so you're going to have to stay in boot camp for 4 more weeks. And my parents had already bought plane tickets, and they were cheap people, so they were going to be mad. So I did this whole thing, running back and forth, carrying all the wet clothes in the sleeping bag, and there was a tornado even. We had to run from the tornado and do all this stuff. And my class failed. after all that. So I had to do it twice. We had got to sleep for 24. We got to sleep for a day, and then we had to do it again immediately. It was actually really hard. Then I heard that Universal Studios like built a ship there at the Navy boot camp, and so it's now like a simulation. They don't have to run across the base anymore, which really pisses me off. But oh well.
I don't know, Mike. I think a 2JZ would be awesome. Like I get. Like, I'm a purist, believe me, I love the old muscle cars from the 60s, 70s eras. I really do. But being that young with the limited amount of mechanics that are left anymore that actually understand those type of engines, one is finding someone to work on it just at any general shop. I guess it does geographically take place a little bit, but I can tell you, like, when I was in Vegas, I was actually one of the last guys around that I knew how to rebuild a carburetor the right way, and how to tune, like a spread or a Holly double pumper 4150, stuff like that. Like, the guys just, they're not around anymore to support the old type of stuff. I mean, of course, that's just my opinion, but and my opinion is by always hardly ever correct, but but I don't know, it's just my opinion. For someone that young to try and maintain something old like that is very difficult nowadays. It's proven to be very difficult nowadays.
Where would I want to end my travel journey at? I don't want to end it, to be honest. I want to continue, even if I find a home base, I want to continue to travel for as long as possible. I think my fear in life is not being able to see everything that I want to see or missing out on something. So I think I'll probably continue to travel for as long as I'm able to. I am looking at property in western Nevada. I do have my eye on some things out there, but I'm waiting for the market to figure out what it's going to do. And things don't look really good right now, so right now being a minimalist and only having my car to worry about and my grocery bill, it's like $30 a week with what I do now. So for right now, I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing, and if the time is right, if I find a good piece of property, then I'm hoping that it's gonna be Nevada, but if not Nevada, then probably South Dakota, just because I don't like to pay taxes. Yeah, there's no emissions in South Dakota. It's amazing.
Pat said preach it, so I don't know if he's referring to the
I'm a
automotive.
daughter. Just kidding. Yeah.
Okay, just to give you an example, so the black Corvette that you saw, the black Corvette's pretty well known. It's competed at several LS Fest events, and it actually places in the top 10 at LS Fest. It has on both last trips in the autocross. But to tell you that the old stuff can compete with today's modern technology, I'm realistic. Like, it just can't. Today's modern technology is so above and beyond like what we had in the 60s and 70s. In just every way. I mean, like, they just built the Corvette for $55,000. It's mid-engine. And it's because we have the technology to actually print the chassis, if you didn't know that.
Kind of cheating.
The engine girdle is all printed in metal.
Oh.
It's metal printed. It's
Fancy,
cool.
like a fancy CNC machine.
No, it's like it's like a fancy printing machine that prints metal. It welds it as it goes. Just like you see the plastic ones, that you can build anything out of plastic now with a plastic printer.
Hi. Classic cars are missed, but they're actually, I see them a lot. You just gotta get out and go find the shows and the events. I do see them quite a bit still.
Yeah, like some of my friends right now are at Back to the Bricks in Flint, Michigan, which is like one of the biggest car events in the U.S.
I bet.
Now it's
I bet
huge.
Michigan has great car events.
Yeah.
It's like the auto capital of the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. There's great car events in Michigan.
I wonder if Johnny Cash ever showed up to any of them.
Back to the Bricks didn't start until. Back to the Bricks didn't start until.
I just say that because,
late 90s?
you know, Johnny Cash, actually, I saw him at a couple car shows once in near Ventura, California. Because he sang one piece at a time, and I was like, it's a huge song.
Yeah,
So,
Great
actually,
song.
he was a big car guy, too.
he was. He was. Buddy of mine years ago owned Elvis Presley's Di Tomaso Pantera.
Oh my god.
Still had the bullet hole in the steering wheel. If you didn't know that story, Elvis Presley shot his Di Tomaso Pantera because it wouldn't start when he sold it. And 30-some years later, a friend of mine owns it.
So if you have not been here very long, this is Jeremy, and he's helping me work on the Trailblazer. He's very knowledgeable with vehicles. Go subscribe to his channel. It's pinned at the top of the comments. You can make a comment right now and just be like, hey everyone, and then they'll see you.
Oh, I have.
Okay,
I've been
good.
interacting
All right,
in
good.
here.
I can't see.
To get back to Mike's question, I don't know, 65 Comet, I'd really have to look at it. I'd really have to think about what would be a good old swap for low maintenance, long-term durability. That age probably don't need a ton of horsepower. Actually, probably don't need that much torque for the 390. Like, that's a really torquey engine.
What's your car insurance? For
Mine?
that? No, for him with his daughter, his young teenage daughter. That.
They wouldn't, well, I don't know.
I'm just
I've never had to
curious.
worry about car insurance. Like, my car insurance is pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as much as I've sped across the country, like, I have no tickets. I'm really good at avoiding tickets. So Aaron, I owned a shop in Las Vegas, which was the largest heavy commercial collision center west of the Mississippi. It was 60,000 square feet. And our main business line was we fixed wrecked semi-trucks, semi-trailers, custom coaches, stuff like Stars travel around in. City coaches, commuter coaches, stuff like that. In the Marine Corps, I was on the motor transport side. I was also in rotary aircraft, so I've worked on aircraft, specifically UH-1 Helos, AH-1W attack helicopters. And in the Marine Corps, I've pretty much worked on and drove Hummers 5 tons, and then I was primarily LBS operator. Yeah, it was just as big of a headache too, I will assure you. And, with all the ups and downs that Vegas went through over the course of the past 12 years, I gotta tell you, I just got tired of it and got to a point of it was either sell the shop or my partner had to buy me out, and my partner ended up buying me out, which is nice because I get to see the shop continue on. It's still thriving. I still help them. I just, took a call from them on Friday that they had some basic questions. So I'm still kind of in that part of the industry. But I've also designed and built a lot of stuff for people. I don't know if anyone's a big guitarist fan in here, but Ed Roman Guitars has this big, huge, well, they did. I don't know if they have it now. But they had a M2 Freightliner truck with a generator and a whole mobile stage that completely
Oh, wow.
unfolded, and we built that for them.
Wow.
So I've done a lot of high-profile stuff. I rebuilt Bretland.
So the project that you would do with your truck would be actually a really good project to watch. You building a camper for your truck.
Well, I think about all the stuff over the years. I'm like, I should have picked all this. I should have filmed it, but a lot of it I couldn't.
Yeah.
Let's see. Prior to my own shop, I worked for Daimler Chrysler, which was Daimler Trucks North America, Mercedes-Benz. I worked for them for 14 years. Did a lot of really cool projects with those guys. That's how the Ed Rumble Guitar one came around. Built a lot of bomb squad vehicles, some armored cars. Diffused a wired safe 2 weeks ago. That was interesting. Cutting open a safe that nobody had opened in 30 years and someone had wired it.
Did you make a video on that?
No, and I so should have. Because the people are asking me, they're like, why aren't you going through the front doors? I'm like, because you people in the 90s look crazy.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we cut open the side and there was a whole booby trap in the safe.
Yeah. Somebody asked where Bruce is. Bruce is in Las Vegas with basically his dad. He's just chilling. He's chilling for right now. This would not be a good environment for Bruce right now. And I'm so glad I don't have to take care of him at the moment. Also, sorry, somebody asked what I would do if I retired the Trailblazer. I'd probably just keep it because I don't think it would be worth anything, to be honest.
Keep rebuilding it.
Yeah, I
I'm
just
a
want to
big
keep
Trailblazer
it.
fan.
I love the Trailblazer. I've lived
is
in
a
that
great
for
vehicle.
it'll be a year in November that I've lived in that full time, and it's comfortable. I call it the mom car that goes everywhere. It's just super comfortable. I can fall asleep in that front seat so fast.
So Aaron, do I own a shop? So currently, no. So my partner bought me out of the big shop in Vegas in August of last year, and I moved to Texas. But I had started JW's Garage on YouTube because I had my own private garage in the shop where I filmed from. And so that's where I started my YouTube channel from, and was at that shop, and then it's just continued here to Texas. And
He's
as
got
you
some
guys,
really good projects that are really interesting too. Just go watch some of it.
but as you guys saw, like I work out of the garage here, and I work on local people's stuff and other YouTubers. Like if anyone's ever watched Bridget Babel, the really, she's a really nice gal from Utah, young.
Yeah.
And she's got a hunting fishing channel.
Yeah, she's actually pretty cool. I've watched some of her videos.
And I fixed her F-150 when she came for the NFR. But to answer your question, no, Aaron, I don't currently have a shop. I'm just kind of doing YouTube. And I'm a disabled vet, so, you know, my healthcare and everything's all covered. So I just kind of semi-retired and kind of work out of the house and the shop here and just do all kinds of stuff. Like with all the experience that I've had over the years and welding, fabrication, mechanical, auto body, building custom vehicles. Like I've built a couple camper vans for people. Stealth camper vans, which are pretty cool. Off-road trucks. Like I've forgotten half of the stuff I've built over the years. You'll see a little bit of it on my channel, but I was the only training equipment builder for PPG Aerospace for like the past 11 years. So there's wet wings that travel the globe to train people on the new wet wing sealing process on aircraft, and fuselages that we've built that are all over the country. They're on my, there's pictures of them on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I think it is.
It's same JW's Garage. How about it's a Trailblazer?
It's bad. It's bad.
I keep telling him to shut up. But it's still I drove it here. Okay, look, if it's indestructible with me, I feel like that's a good vehicle.
I like the Trailblazer. Like,
it's a good vehicle.
Honestly,
and it's I feel like it's a safe vehicle. Like, if you have a young person that's wanting to learn how to use four-wheel drive and, you know, go maybe on the dirt roads, the back roads, I feel like that's, instead of buying your kid a brand new Jeep, go buy him a Trailblazer, because it's safe and it's, the chassis is actually pretty nice. I can fit into some pretty tight roads and some tight spots, which is really nice. And it's not a square.
So So you have a total, what you call it in here, I think. What's,
Yeah, you can know that.
why? Are you interested in a nice girl? Who isn't? It's finding one. Then the east and west coast because of the salt. Yes, Aaron, I will tell you, doing that type of work in Nevada, as dry as it is, yes, it's easier because your incubation times for chemicals and dry times for glues and primers and adhesives and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it's much easier, and humidity does play a big part. Like it's,
Yeah,
since I've
yeah.
been here, yeah, the humidity has been a learning curve because painting and doing mechanical and restoration work since here, and yes, it's very different.
I didn't even have like a drop of rust on my vehicle or anything I owned until I went to the Gulf of Mexico, and I swear I just like looked at like one little piece of metal on my car and it was just like instant.
Yeah, like I'll tell you,
Even my knives, my knife rusted.
to give you
My car shop.
like a comparison. So if I did body work in Vegas and finished the body work, like I would primer it the same day. Here, 3 days. 3 days to let it sit because of the humidity.
Wow.
So
And it's
yeah,
not even as humid here as it is in. It's humid here, trust me.
It is right now.
Look at my hair.
It's been raining for 3 days.
The rain here is insane. The lightning and the thunder, it's so awesome.
Oh, Germany, Baltic Sea.
Nice.
That's where my friends Michael and Betty live.
Nice.
Yeah, that's they
I've
actually.
been to Germany.
They have a boat that they keep on the Baltic. That's very cool.
Mike, is your youngest your favorite? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Don't answer that. But you can if you want.
What?
Everybody has a favorite.
Start them on cars, and you won't have anything else to worry about. Especially with the way women are getting into auto sports now. Like, have you noticed it?
Yeah.
Like, it's just blowing up, and it's awesome because they're good drivers. Like Emily Hartford is
Yeah.
badass behind the wheel. Like, there's so many out there that now have this opportunity. Like, I think it's great to get your daughters into it. Because so many women are getting into motorsports now, and it's great to see. And they're out there being very competitive. Do SUVs last longer in the West with the heat?
I would say it's less, actually. Like, I hear people have battery issues
Yes,
because of the heat.
you do. You absolutely do. But, okay, so I got a different, complete answer on that. Completely different answer. Your vehicle will last as long as you do the regular maintenance to it. And everything is regular maintenance on a vehicle. Like hoses, alignments 2 and 3 times a year. Like, if most people even knew what the interval for a wheel alignment was, like, they never do it because it's very short. It's typically 8,000 miles, and nobody ever does it. CV axles, 50,000 miles. Shocks only last 50,000 miles. Like, I don't care how much money you spend on them. Shocks last 50,000 miles at most. Most of them will give out before that. Generally between 35 and 40. So, like fuel pumps in your gas tank, like, they're all limited lifespan and nobody ever changes them.
Yeah, it's actually nuts.
Yeah, and like the socks get filthy because there's sediment that goes through,
Yeah.
the gas pumps, and so it's all just a matter of how you maintain it. Like, my OBS diesel Ford is a 95, my Corvette is a 98, and there's nothing old on the Corvette. Like, it's actually got 6,000 miles on it now because it's been fully rebuilt. And same thing for the OBS diesel, like the F350. Like, it's been completely rebuilt. There's nothing left in it that hasn't been touched. So it's kind of, you know, it's how much you want to maintain the vehicle. And that even goes into paint and body, like when your paint starts to fade and stuff,
Yeah.
like take care of it. And it'll last you a lifetime, but if you want it to. But it's a lot of work.
I want to keep mine as long.
It's a lot of work.
Mark asked how my family handles me traveling. Well, I've lived on my own since I was 16, so that's how they handle it. I joined the Navy when I was 17, and I don't really have a close relationship with most of my family. Just my siblings. And everybody always knows since the day I left home, I do whatever I want. So you either get used to it or you don't. I'm going to still do whatever I want, regardless of what other people's opinions are. So that's just how it goes.
Now, for myself,
I pay my own bills, so I don't need my family to, you know, I don't know. It's a touchy subject.
I don't know, I've always traveled,
Yeah.
like my whole life, so
It's easier when you're single.
it is.
I was in a relationship where I still traveled a lot, but he traveled for work, and that worked out really well for the most part. Obviously, it didn't work out forever, but yeah, you just. And I like traveling alone. I like being with someone, but it's nice to be alone and being on my own schedule.
I buy most of my car parts from Rock Auto. Do you have options on where you buy car parts? So, yes. So because I have business accounts, I have nationwide accounts still across the country where I buy auto parts from. So whether it's O'Reilly, Checker, AutoZone, and my pricing, well, you saw today my
Yeah.
pricing is quite different than what you pay.
It is. It was a good discount.
Yeah, because it's for me the retail,
Yeah.
so it comes at a different pricing. So yeah,
Ouch. No, my life is great. Because I don't live by the opinions of people who are close to me. They're used to it. Once you get freedom and you just start doing whatever you want, regardless of, it's hard to, you know, tell people you love that you're going to do whatever you want, regardless of what their opinion is. But once you get used to it, it's actually really nice. It's really nice. Because I literally do whatever I want without thinking about what anybody else is doing. Nothing stops me. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it.
and frankly, at my age, everyone has learned that nobody's going to tell me what to do. So
I think that also comes from, like, also if you were in the military and being told what to do for so long, a lot of people, when they get out and they feel that freedom of not being told what to do or what to wear or where to go, there are certain people that there's no turning back to that, you know, even in the smallest amount.
and I don't know that I could quit traveling.
No.
So like by the time I was 25, I had been to every state in the United States, and then
Yeah.
I've driven to every single one of them because of my past career.
Yeah. And I think traveling makes you smarter. I've definitely learned so much about people and like different worldview, and I've learned about the history of our country and how it was developed, and I just love, you know, even if you have small children and stuff, I would suggest traveling and teaching them history that way, because like a history book was so boring in a classroom, but now I feel like I know a lot.
Yeah, I'm a huge.
I can have a pretty good intellectual conversation with people, not just about history, but economics and what's going on in our country. You never really know until you physically see it. You know, you can hear whatever you want on social media or the news, but for me, traveling around from May, when I did the 2 months, going to 14 different states, I actually got to see like what was going on in the economy and what was going on with people and diversity and stuff. So it's actually really rewarding to travel. I would love to do most of the USA, but I'm going to take it day by day. You know, there's things like I'm going back. I just did this whole trip through Texas in May. I started it. Now I'm going back, and I'm going to places that I've already been because I feel like I need to go spend more time there. Normally I don't visit the same place twice, but there's places that they need to be seen twice. At least I think.
There's a lot of places I go back to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd like to do Route 66. I'd like to do the Lincoln Highway. The Lincoln Highway is a good one. And I love all the off-road trails and the back roads. I always stumble upon something like an old trash pile or an old cabin, and it's fun. But there's definitely, like I said, I don't think I'm going to quit traveling because I'm afraid that I'm not going to see everything. I'm just that type of person where I want to see everything. I know I won't, but I mean, I don't want to be sitting on the couch. That's for sure.
And my preference for traveling has always been automobile. So,
Yeah.
you know, the black Corvette's been all across the country.
And he hunts and goes on the in the backcountry and stuff too, so that's nice.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in the backcountry, a lot of states, and like the F-350 is great off-road,
Yeah.
and it's fast off.
That'd be great when you build something on that.
I think
Spend
so.
more time.
Would I like to visit Germany? Yes, I would.
I've been to Germany. I've been to Cologne, K-L-O-H-N. I went there for a wedding, and the wedding was at the football stadium. I forget what the name of the team is. That was really cool, and we went to some castles there. That was awesome, and the World War II museum
Yes.
was insane. Looking at a museum for a war where I've only had one perspective, what we've been taught, and then going over to the opposing side and looking at what their perspective was, just opened my eyes to something insane.
Very different.
It's so different, the outlook on things. But I really liked the castles in Germany. Germany had, you had your regular castle, and then you had a hunting castle like 2 miles away, which
Yeah.
was really cool. And the art in those places are awesome.
Ever thought about traveling the Wild Atlantic Way in Ireland? I know nothing about it, but I'm going to look that up.
Is that the race that the men do?
I have no idea.
There's a race that men do in Ireland from one side of the country to the other. I don't know if they bike it or they do it on foot. But it's a men's race. It's like a
It doesn't have an engine, like I'm not interested at all.
yeah.
I have no
What
interest
would
in
you
human
drive in
power.
Ireland?
Other than,
Do they have fast cars in Ireland?
I don't know. Do they have fast cars in Ireland? I have no idea. Like they're not known for fast cars.
No, they're known for whiskey.
Wait, is
Scotch.
is
No,
the Peugeot
whiskey.
from Ireland?
I don't know.
I have no idea. No, I think the Peugeot is French.
I
I
think
don't know.
Ireland.
I'm gonna look that up.
But you know what? I don't have the proper passport to be traveling right now. I have a U.S. passport, but I don't have the one for the vaccine, so I'm not going anywhere until they get rid of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The United States has great stuff. We have rolling green hills, lots of bourbon, lots of beer, everything I could ever want.
Kevin says Wild Atlantic Way is a tourist travel route, and yes, we have fast cars. What do they have in Ireland? Like, what's your consideration for fast cars? I'm curious.
Well, he's going by kilometers too.
Oh, we can convert that easy enough. Like, I know knock, so it should be fairly easy.
For ships?
Well, no, I have a race boat.
Oh, not.
Knots.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's actually reads in miles per hour. Yeah, it actually does read in miles per hour. And it's got a GPS speedometer. So that's how you know.
What do we have? 31?
32?
Just probably sign off soon. Or what do you want
I
to do?
don't know, it's gone up to like 48 already.
How do you guys feel?
Yeah, what do you guys want to know?
My live streams are usually an hour, but we can make it longer.
Yeah, if you guys have specific questions, like, hey, I'll answer them. Or you will. Or somebody will. And I'm waiting for Kevin to tell us what fast cars that they have in Ireland. I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Have you guys?
I'm curious if they're imports. Like,
Have you guys subscribed to Jeremy's channel, JW's Garage? It's pinned at the top, and he's been commenting. So make sure you go over there. Because we're gonna do a live stream on his channel next Sunday. He doesn't know it, but I just made that up right now.
right on.
Yeah, same time, 4 o'clock next Sunday.
Nothing
No,
like-
my beers are open now.
Nothing like being on the spot. Here you
Yeah.
go. By the way,
We're gonna do that 4 p.m. next Sunday on his channel.
let's see. What else have I done that was pretty
He has really good stories.
cool?
So
if
I
it-
think his videos are gonna be really good. I think him telling stories about actually it's a lot of cool shit. So I can't even.
So
I
if
think-
any of you guys ever watched the TV show Pensacola Wings of Gold, I painted the helicopter for the TV show for Stu Seagal Movie Productions, and then I was a stuntman and actor on the show for the first few episodes of the first
Nice.
season with James Brolin, the Amco,
Yeah.
the Amco commercial guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can smell fire.
Yeah. Getting kind of worried about it, actually. What's the worst place you've camped? What's the worst place that
Me or you?
What's the worst place I camped?
Cave Lake, right now. Cave Lake before in Nevada used to be really nice, but the dam broke and they're draining the lake right now. It's not a very good place to camp. Don't recommend it. It's in the eastern side of Nevada, near Ely. It's probably that one.
Worst place I camped was probably one of the hidden dry lake beds on the way to Elgin, Nevada.
Oh,
Because, like, the Jeep people all night long. I was like, this was a bad choice.
yeah. Also, Big Bend in Laughlin. It's a Nevada State Park also. There's no shade. And the woman there that works there is horrible. I wanted to call her something else right now, but she's horrible.
So not that I was hating on the Jeep people, because I love Jeeps too. Like
I
love,
don't like Jeep people.
I love every type of car you can possibly imagine. I love lowriders, like four-wheel drive, like every car genre you can imagine. Like I have an interest in it. And then I lived in Japan for a year, so so I was sold on JD.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just got mine over there. It was cool. Not that it was called an R29 at that point in time for you car guys, but yeah, it was an R29 Skyline. It was a
Yeah.
long time ago when I was in Japan.
If I'm gonna camp,
Jasper Racing Motorsports. Is that Jasper Engines? Are you a division of Jasper Racing Engines?
I don't know that
I do.
I know you do.
Great engine. Been around a long time. Actually, in fact, they're even a staple for reman engines cross country.
Nice.
Like you can order a Jasper engine, I think, from AutoZone, CarQuest, if that's the same Jasper Racing. How to do stuff like transmission flush. Aaron, I would actually tell you that if you go to your reputable, different smaller company, that's okay though. We'll look them up.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
What do they do?
Jasper Racing Motorsports. What type of racing are you involved in? You may go out on a limb, say drag racing. Oh, here's a great story. So,
You didn't finish Aaron's question.
oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. Honestly, if you have a reputable, like, quick change service like we have here in Texas, we have some very reputable quick change services. It's so much easier just to go to them, and they'll do a power flush, and I recommend doing it because it gets in your transmission, especially transmission. The power flush gets all the clutch material out from around the clutches and the basket and rinses it all out. down to the pan, and then they drain it out. So I would tell you, like, can I show you how to do it? Yes. Putting time and money ahead of your own schedule, like, there's so many modern conveniences and machines that do it now that, honestly, to go to one of those places and just let them plug into it and do your transmission flush and fill, like, it's well worth it. It really is. Mike Palmer remembers that show. Not many people watched it, but it's old.
Dirt bike builds.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
dirt bike builds. Heck yeah.
Nice.
That's
a
I've
good
raced
one.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I raced Supermoto for Michelin tires.
Oh.
Yeah, I raced a big Supermoto on that bike actually.
Nice.
When it was converted over and it was on street tires instead. So have you ever watched Supermoto?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I used to race with guys like Troy Lee, if you know Troy Lee Designs. Yeah, Troy Lee was still racing then. There's another couple of big name guys way back in the day that were still racing. Like Travis Pastrana was racing
I met him a
Supermoto
few
for a
times.
while when it got pretty big. So 500cc two-stroke, not on your life, brother. No way am I ever riding a 500cc two-stroke again. Yeah, Jeremy McGrath was still racing Supermoto back then.
I had a huge crush on him.
Yeah. Let's see. There's actually a video that I just did, Mike, on my channel, and it was Texas to Arizona on Route 66. So, I'm kind of a big history buff, especially of the American highways, things like that. So, I know a lot of history on the American highways. Like I said, I've traveled all of them.
Yeah.
A road that I really haven't traveled.
That's awesome. You did make videos on that.
I know. You just can't think of what to tell. Well, one, you can't hear anything in the block. So, you're kind of done there. I guess I could do a lot of B-roll.
You can.
Yeah. But East Coast, West Coast, like, yeah, that car's been all over. As well as, well, the other ones, like I blasted the red Corvette across the U.S.
What do you think?
1540 Softail. Mike, I'm not familiar with the 1540 Softail. Like, I'm familiar with a Softail, but I'm not familiar with a 1540. But,
What do you think?
I don't know.
I'm running out of things to say.
Are you?
Yeah. Wait, you can just keep walking if you want.
I don't know. So I don't know, my travels across the U.S. was mostly with the military, and then I was a pro rodeo cowboy for 14 years, and we traveled by automobile all across the nation, so that's where a lot of my travels came from, and then my automotive interest just kind of trickled into it, and then you know, when you got to get from rodeo to rodeo, it was pretty convenient to have a pretty fast car. So, I'm kind of, I guess you would call cannonballed all over the U.S. And then the black Corvette is always my business travel car, so that car has 200,000 miles on it.
Dang.
But I would do like Vegas to Reno and back,
Yeah.
same day Vegas to Phoenix and back when I was writing big estimates on Rec City buses and things like that, because those are really big estimates, you know, 100,000 plus to repair. You know,
Yeah.
and those buses are like 800,000, so they generally don't total loss.
I'm sure the wreck buses around the United States.
I did a lot of motocross racing as well when I was younger. Snowmobiles, yeah. Turbo snowmobiles.
I've never been on a snowmobile.
No?
That's one thing I've never been on.
Yeah, like we had great snowmobiles as a kid. Like they were stupid fast. Nitro snowmobiles. Like,
What?
oh yeah, yeah. Turbo snowmobiles.
I wanna go on one day.
Camp near Area 51. I have
Yeah.
quite a bit. I've hunted a lot of Area 51.
I broke down in
around
Rachel, Nevada one time a couple of years ago. Camped there, but not by choice.
Mike, I love my Harleys. Like I had I've had a lot of Harleys. When I was 13, I used to steal my dad's Softail. I'd just unscrew the speedometer from the back and I'd be out riding the Softail all over time at 13 and 14 and 15 because he never caught on. So I love my Softails. I do. I like the old Softails. I love Panheads. I love the new Evo motors. I love the Screaming Eagles. And then when I lived in Vegas, Mike Sample and I from American Performance Cycle,
Yeah.
we designed a very custom high roller bike. And so that bike was nearly 9 foot long, 11-piece wheels, full wrap-around rear fender, 280 rear tire, full wrap-around front tire. I did all the custom paintwork on it. It was a 121 S&S, made it to a 6-speed RevTech, and that was the fastest freaking chopper you've ever been on in your life. Like, I let friends of mine that are Harley club members, and that's all I can really say about it, that are, high profile type guys that rode my bike and brought it back, and they were like, here's the keys.
Yeah.
I'm never getting on that death machine again. I don't own anything that's moderate. Like, even the truck is fast. The truck
is fast.
The truck is stupid fast.
But it doesn't feel fast. It feels smooth. It's like enjoyable.
Mark wants to know, have you ever had an incident with another YouTuber? Do you have to knock the grill out?
I'm not going to talk about that. Next.
Okay.
I don't do drama on my channel.
Toombs likes your boobs. Everybody likes boobs. Even women like boobs. Like,
Thanks. They've brought me a lot of money. It's my biggest asset.
hey, if it works. If it works.
I'm not shy though, obviously. But thanks. I appreciate it.
Let's see. What else? Oh, so we were talking about travel. Oh,
Okay.
so I rodeo.
Yeah,
all
it's a
over
rodeo guy.
all over the country, and I'm still associated. I'm actually a director for one of the rodeo associations, so we'll probably get to a rodeo here pretty soon.
You guys know how I feel about that.
What's that?
I'm always trying to find a rodeo.
Right? I have what's called a built-in rodeo compass. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Like, I just know. Like, you see the vehicles on the road, and you just know which way to turn and follow, because they're very distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so we were talking about traveling around the rodeos in fast cars. So, yeah, I had Corvettes back then. Had a 69 Camaro that I traveled the rodeo circuit in that was pro touring before people were building pro touring cars. So it was low and wide and had a lot of horsepower. I ran that across the country as well.
Nice.
From Santa Ana Freight Beach on Camp Lejeune non-stop to Del Mar Beach on Camp Pendleton. So completely across the country on 40.
Wow.
That was probably about 1994. Wasn't a lot of cops back then, so in that car you could really open it up and just fly down the highway. That was a great car. Mark, I'm too old. I don't follow them on that.
I don't know what the question was.
I've been single for 50 years, like between racing and rodeoing and being in the military, always being on deployment, you know, and back home, and I did that for 10 years, and then rodeoing like Diane, like, I'm just not going to settle down. I'm just not.
Freedom is nice.
Too much of a free spirit to do it.
Freedom is so nice. What do you think?
I'm back, haha. Jasper Racing Motorsports. Thought you would be showing those babies off.
I do. You can pay. You know where the links are. I don't do anything for free, okay?
No. Other than that, I don't know.
I think we're gonna get off. The questions are getting kind of weird, and I'm gonna avoid the rest of them. So next Sunday at 4 p.m. on JW's channel, we're gonna go up there and go subscribe.
We'll have a lot of content, and then
will.
We're gonna do some traveling around to some historic places in
Yeah, he
Texas.
said he's gonna take me to some hot springs.
So that'll be coming up as well. I love traveling in Texas back roads in a high performance car. It's awesome.
I love not driving sometimes. So. All right, peace out, everybody.
Bring Bruce.
He's in Vegas. Yeah, this question's